Specialists detailed more weather-related passings in Texas on Friday night after a storm framework battered the Houston region. In the interim, extreme climate is set to wreak more ruin within the southeast, bringing a hazard of salute, harming wind, and tornadoes to the region over the end of the week. On Friday evening, the National Climate Benefit issued tornado watches for parts of southern Georgia, southeast Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle, and confirmed 3 tornado touchdowns in the Pittsburgh region. NUS also issued streak surge warnings Friday night for parts of Texas, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio, and Florida. Up to 3.5 inches of rain had as of now fallen in a few zones, the Climate Benefit said, and more was on the way. The most recent circular of serious climate comes after Houston woke up to scenes of devastation. Extreme storms with winds of up to 100 miles per hour heaved flotsam and jetsam over streets and littered the ground downtown with broken glass. Harris District Sheriff Ed Gonzalez confirmed 3 extra storm-related deaths in a social media post Friday evening. Prior, specialists detailed at slightest 4 passings were caused by the storm. "We're in recuperation mode," Houston leader John Whitmire said. The National Climate Benefit affirmed 1 EF1 tornado touched down Thursday night close Cypress, approximately 30 miles northwest of Houston, with winds coming to 110 miles per hour. It was 2 examining reports of an unconfirmed tornado in Galena Stop, around 11 miles east of downtown, NWS meteorologist Jeff Evans said Friday. "The lion's share of this harm is straight-line winds," he said. At slightest 4 dead in Texas storm. Mary Benton, representative for the chairman, told USA Nowadays the Harris District Therapeutic Examiner's Office would distinguish those murdered and decide the causes of passing. Houston Fire Chief Samuel Pena said Thursday that 2 of the passings there were caused by falling trees. Another individual passed on in a crane mishap. On Friday, Harris Province Judge Lena Hidalgo said it would take time to evaluate impacts from the storm, which she said thumped out the control for 740,000 clients, most of them inhabitants of Harris District. "This kind of wind is something we have not seen in Harris District since Typhoon Alicia in 1983, she said. Alicia, a Category 3 tropical storm, cleared over the state in Admirable of 1983, bringing winds of up to 110 miles per hour. According to the NWS, it caused more than $7 billion in harm. Control rebuilding might take weeks in a few ranges, authorities caution. Hidalgo said she had marked a fiasco affirmation on Friday morning, and Houston's government was in contact with the White House. At a news briefing Friday evening, Hidalgo cautioned that control rebuilding might take weeks in a few regions. Most of the storm harm showed up to be around Cypress, Hidalgo said. A helicopter filter of the affected zone appeared the annihilation was not as broad as she anticipated. The storms come weeks after the Houston zone confronted floods after a bout of overwhelming rain and electrical storms prior this month. In late April, Groveton and Trinity X, 2 towns around 100 miles north of Houston, gotten a particular 10 and 9 inches of rain. Abbott issued a calamity decree late final month in reaction to extreme storms that hit the state weeks back with flooding, salute, and perilous wind. In a letter on Tuesday, he inquired President Joe Biden to pronounce a major catastrophe for the state. As of Friday morning, flotsam and jetsam had been cleared from freeways, but was still scattered over person neighborhoods, Hidalgo said. Downtown could be a mess. On Thursday night, Whitmire encouraged inhabitants to remain domestic in the midst of the unsafe street conditions. Broad control blackouts had 2 thumped-out activity lights over the city, posturing activity control dangers for morning commuters. Whitmire said authorities were moreover concerned almost the perils of broken glass on roadways. Downtown could be a mess. It's perilous due to the glass and the need of activity lights, he said. So remain at domestic. I can't emphasize that, rehash that sufficient. Fire Chief Pina said the lion's share of crisis calls to the fire division were to report downed wires and gas spills. In case you're noticing gas inside your domestic, it may be possibly perilous, so it would be ideal if you call 911 on the off chance that there's a scent of gas, but do so exterior of that building, he said. More than 900 clients of the utility company CenterPoint Vitality had misplaced their control, he said. Control reclamation would take up to 48 hours for a few inhabitants. The company said on X that reestablishing full control would be a days-long rebuilding exertion.